Chris,
Darren,
it's good to see you.
it's great to see you. You look tall today.
I am tall today. You look short today. What's wrong?
It's just one of those days. Just a little
Yes.
shorter.
I'm so glad that we have a really smart person who's joining us today. Um, we'll get to her in a minute, but I will say that when it comes to data and the use of data and how customers can use data, like the kind of thing we're talking about all the time in digital print, we have a perfect person to talk to. But I have a more important question, Chris. One thing that's been on my mind for a long time. How do you say where she lives? Let's try. I'm from Ohio. This is how I would say it. Watford, Hertfordshire.
Okay.
She lives in Watford, Hertfordshire. Chris, what do you think about Watford, Hertfordshire?
Well, contrary to you, Darren, I always thought Watford was a suburb of London. So I always would say Watford, London. That's just me.
Oh, that's what you would do?
That's what I would do.
Caroline Routledge, help
Yes.
us out. Where are you from?
Watford, Hertfordshire.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
sounds much better.
And for
I
the
love it already.
when we had the 2012 Olympics, they renamed a lot of the hotels renamed it Watford London so that lots of people would stay there. But it's about an hour out of London.
Okay.
So there
Nice.
you go. Well done, Chris.
D-Scoop is global, Chris.
I know.
She is, well, welcome, Caroline.
Thank you.
It's very nice to have you. We met at Ed's Long Beach.
We did.
We had a couple of laughs.
A lot of laughs.
We had we drank a drink or two, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then there was a lot of talk about data.
Yeah.
There was a lot of talk about data, and I'm so excited to have you on here with Chris. So you work as the customer acquisition specialist at PDV,
Mm-hmm.
which is UK's leading data-driven direct marketing agency.
Yes.
Those are a lot of fun words, but the two most fun ones for me might be data-driven and direct marketing. And I'm happy to talk to you about that. Do you want to just get into it?
Yep. Let's go for it.
Chris, you ready to roll?
As ready as I can be.
All right. So Caroline, in your experience, what types of customer data are proving most valuable to print providers right now, and why?
So some of the most valuable types of data really are behavioral data. So what the customer has already. So it might be sort of purchasing history, browsing history, um, the types of channels that people are engaging with, but also demographic data. So age, income, gender, marital status, presence of children. So all of those types of data is really helping the best brands and their printers, make real good strategic campaigns that respond.
I was wondering when I was thinking about the questions we wanted to ask you, I was thinking about common misconceptions that
Hmm.
might be around about using data effectively. It seems like such a vague kind of idea, like using data effectively could go in many different ways.
Yep.
So there might be many misconceptions about its use. Have you seen any?
Yes, I think there's quite a lot out there. So I think personalization is a key one. So I think a lot of companies might think that personalization is just using a name, but actually you can go a lot deeper with personalization when you've got that strength of data behind a company. So what we'll often say to companies is make make those data driven campaigns, but actually use that data to be intelligent with it. A good example really would be, so I work with a lot of travel companies, and I love going on a holiday. So I went recently on a weekend with my friends just for a holiday away, spa holiday. So that travel company would know me as somebody that goes away just with the girls on a spa break. What they don't know about me is that I've got a family, I've got two children, and next month I'm going on another holiday, a big one with them. So if they only know me as a spa weekend type customer, they'll only target me for that. So that's where we help our clients with saying, right, these are your customers, but actually, um, let's help you understand more about them. We can tell you that Caroline's actually got 2 kids, and this is the income levels and things like that. So it's using that smart data really to help drive those better campaigns.
Yeah, can you give me an example of how you might use that? Like, what does that look like in someone's campaign? Um, yeah.
Yeah, so quite a good example really is Tails.com is somebody that we've worked with. So Tails.com are a pet food company. They're part of the Nestle group. They had actually been um, they'd had a lot of lapsed and cancelled customers that they'd been targeting by email, but they just weren't responding. They weren't opening the emails. They weren't reacting to it. So they came to PDV and they just basically said, "What can we do with this information? We've got all these lapsed, cancelled customers." So we recommended direct mail. We love direct mail here. We recommended that they actually mail them because that piece of mail that goes in that home, it stays there for a long time. It's driving a lot more attention than just an email would. So we help them to actually understand who are those people within their base that would be the most responsive. They've got a huge lapsed base, but actually we said, right, let's look at them, let's understand what we know about them. We help with that. We can say, right, we know that these people within your base actually respond to a DM campaign. So we found the right people. Alongside that, we actually looked at the creative with them as well. So, from the creative side of things, we made the offer relevant to whether they'd previously lapsed or cancelled. So it was 2 different offers. But actually, on the creative as well, because they knew the dog name, instead of just saying, "Dear Caroline, here's an offer for your dog," it was, "Dear Caroline, here's an offer for Dexter's pet food next month." So it's that personalisation that really kind of drives that. That campaign overachieved by 25%. And the good news for them and for their printer is that they are continuing that. That's part of their acquisition mix continuously, or reactivation mix.
Do you think it would have been like even 30, 35% if it was like deardexter.com and the dog, him or herself, could have read that?
Yes,
Yeah.
yeah. That's probably the
Written
future,
to the
isn't it?
dog. Yeah, I think so.
I had another one come through with a birthday cake. Make your own birthday cake for Dexter. Love that.
Yeah,
So,
nice,
yeah. I mean, it
nice.
tasted horrible, but
There's a great example on the P
wasn't for me to eat, I suppose.
lovely. Chris just got shorter. Now he's fat. There's a lovely example on your website, the PDV website, about a company called Parsley Box.
Yep.
It's a great story. I mean, they're a successful brand throughout this sort of improvement that you
Yes.
provided for them, where
Yeah.
they had well, you can tell the story better than I, but the part that I loved was that they were sort of already effective in doing like door drops for new
Hmm.
customer acquisition. I don't know what magic wands that you did behind the scenes with your zeros and ones with data,
Yeah.
but it seemed like there was a deep dive into figuring out lookalike customers,
Yep.
new customers that based on current ones would fit the bill, say, for this population, which I believe was elderly, independent folks.
Yep.
And it was just it's a great story. So I would encourage everyone to hop on that. Do you want to comment on that?
Yeah, so I suppose what Parsley Box do is their food delivery for sort of over 70s, 75s, and they were running direct door drops that were working well, but the they wanted to achieve a better ROI. And I suppose with the door drop, you can target whole sectors, but actually with a direct mail, what we can say is, right, we actually know that these people are this age. So you're not just targeting a sector of where an older person is likely to live. We actually know that information about those people. So we tested with everything that we do, it's test and learn. So we started with a small campaign, test and learn. We first of all took their data, profiled it, so we actually understand, right, we can tell you this is what we know about your base. It's like a 16-page report that says we know your customer looks like this age, this income level. From there we can then build lookalikes on our database. So we've got a database of every household in the UK with named information. So we'll say,
Yeah,
right, this is the top 5% of people on our household base that look just like your Parsley Box best customers. Um, so we test and learn on sending out a couple of segments there. and it worked. I think it got them 41% more customers, but actually outperformed the door drop by
Right.
50%, which you can, because door drop gives you that reach and that brand awareness, but the direct mail gives you that targeting to exactly the right person.
And when you were talking and impressing printers in Long Beach, the message that seemed to resonate was, listen, the better we can do that,
Yep,
the better we can help you make use of your mounds of data,
yep,
the more direct mail pieces will be in the mail, the more money will be
exactly that.
in your third quarter revenue stream. This all kind of works together. That seemed to be like the message, right?
Yeah, I've been working with printers for a long time, and it's just working almost in a sort of three-way relationship, working with the printer, but actually with their customer as well. They'll get me involved with those talks to kind of
Right.
understand right at the start what's the customer looking to do, work with the three of us, because ultimately we've got that one goal in mind. They want to drive more customers, and with the printers, we want to be able to, sell more print, sell more data. So it's all of that working together.
You
Um,
mentioned you love direct mail, and I
Love
remember a couple of
it.
LinkedIn posts where you were at direct mail conferences or speaking maybe um, at those events. Why do you love direct mail?
I started the industry in direct mail, gone through working with telemarketing and email, but actually direct mail is kind of where the heart of everything that I do. I've loved the campaigns. I think we can get so involved in absolutely everything within the campaign. So it's not just the data and the targeting, but it's what does the creative look like? What's the offer look like? The call to actions, and just that coming through the door, and coming through the door, seeing I get a DM piece through the door, and I love it because it's just like,
Mhm,
oh, let's have a little look at this.
mhm.
But yeah, it's just how effective it can be when it's done really
Yeah.
well.
Okay, Chris, if you had like all the access to being able to use personalization in the direct mail pieces that you have designed, because we're talking to a person who has designed many of these pieces you're talking about, Caroline.
Yeah.
What are you thinking about all this talk about like data, the merging of data and direct mail?
Well, yeah, I've worked with organizations at different sizes, and I th- for me, it's always getting over the hump of uh, the the work involved with pulling it off. Oh,
Right.
how can we write for 5 different audiences, 5 different personas? Like, the most of my clients get really hung up on, "Oh, well, I don't know how to do I just wanna write 1 postcard. I just wanna write 1 sales letter. I just" like, writing to the different personas kinda scrambles their brain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And to really utilize the full value of the data. Um, and the example, and like, sorry to run on, but the example of just name and Dexter, we could get so even more rich than that, and I'm sure that did.
Yeah.
Um, and that scrambles many marketers, writers' brains that they write one creative, they write one letter, and to be able to think variably is very hard.
Yeah, but I suppose the ROI that it drives by doing these different types of creative. So I was with a holiday company yesterday, and at the moment they've got just one creative with one offer. But we're talking about we've looked at their base. They've got very different customers within their base. They've got maybe your young party goers. So my 19-year-old daughter right now, she's out on holiday. Then you've got maybe couples or young families, and then you've got me with my sort of older growing family. So within that base, everyone's getting that same message at the moment. But actually, you know, over here we've got a lot of holiday companies that are doing free child places for under 11s. So if we can make those all those different offers, different creatives, it's yes, it's hard at work, but it's the benefit that you'll get out of it in the long run, the ROI.
That's so interesting. And it all starts, I guess, when it works well, it starts with a sort of a defined challenge. We want to get lost customers back, for
Hmm.
instance,
Yep.
or whatever it might be. The clarity behind that seems really important to me, like the clarity of the goal in the customer's eyes. And I'm wondering, like, because so I'm sure you've worked with organizations who have already collected sliced and diced data and now want a super analysis of it. And I'm relatively sure you've worked with companies who are startups who are just kind of they don't have much data, or their data is in maybe a different order than you're used to seeing. Um, how do you think that if you were to talk to printers, would you guess that they have enough data to do something tangible with right now, even if they haven't had a program around it?
Yeah. So I would say yes. So that's the first start really, is looking at what the customer data, what they've got already. So they'll have data there. But actually then it's working with a data partner to we can enrich data as well. So like I kind of use that travel example, it's, this is what you know about your customer. They might know name, address, they might have a date of birth, but we could actually say we know the wealth levels that they're within. We know if they've got a family. We know if they've got a pet. We know dog, cat, that kind of information. So it's using the data that's available to you within your own customer base, but how can your data partner help you as well? It's much cheaper and faster way than actually trying to collect new data, which is expensive. So it's
Yeah, that makes
use
sense.
what's available.
So if we're leaving these tracks of data all the time that you guys are picking up, the things we click on, the information that's out there about everybody, all of the fields of rows of columns of stuff that you have now at your company. Any is there any trepidation around security, around the idea that I don't know if I trust giving you all of this. I get the benefits, but ugh, I'm a little queasy about what you're doing with it. Do you ever run into that challenge or conversation?
It's quite a timely question, really. So PDB are 25 years old this year, so we've had quite a lot of we've done some interviews and things like that. And looking back at, I've been with the company for that whole time, but actually looking back at what customers were like before. So I think maybe 20 odd years ago, no one would share any information. I think they thought if we tell you how this works, if we tell you this information, one, it's data security, but actually, what you're going to do with it, if we tell you that the campaign's working well, you're going to increase the prices or things like that. But actually now, in the UK we've got GDPR, so that's been around, and PDV have, we've done a lot of data security things. So we've got data seal, which is a data accreditation for security. Only the relevant people in our company can actually access that data. I can't access the data. We've got analysts that would access the data. It's secure, so we'll only work we'll only receive someone's data when we signed an NDA. So there's a lot more um, measures in place to ensure that the companies are secure in what they give us, and that compliance level. Um, yeah, so it's so,
Man,
and I suppose then, so yeah, it's that data sharing. So they understand to share that data will help them get the best targeting in the first place. But off the back of that, once we run a campaign, we'll say, right, share back with us the inquiries or the sales that you're getting, because once we can look at that, we can then say, right, we can see that we mailed people age 35 to 60, but actually we can see that the 40 to 55s work the best. So we'll
interesting.
use that information to optimize the campaigns all the time.
Oh, that's interesting. I love this stuff.
Yeah.
Chris, any thoughts?
Um, yeah, I guess my question, maybe it's left field, but I think it's timely. Uh, AI, um, and what it's able to do. I'm not sure if you're familiar with, here in the U.S. Maybe it's not U.S. based. Crystal knows. Basically, it's behavioral. It basically searches all of your online behavior and
Okay.
gives you a profile of how you're persuaded, like what, like
Oh, that's
you're
interesting.
you're logical, you're 90% logical, you use facts, you like case studies. It gives you like a breakdown when you're talking to somebody. Are you seeing any use of AI where you, the variability is almost endless? Like it can take Darren and his profile and provide an entirely different creative based on not only his business decision making, but also his personal decision making, and give him
Yeah.
the letter that is totally customized to him versus me versus you.
That's interesting.
Yeah, so there's a lot in our industry. There's a lot of talk at the moment about, it's what AI will do for the industry, I think. And it's, I was at something yesterday where people were saying it might be that it's more um, uh, technology driven creatives that come through, and actually are they taking you on a journey and seeing things. But for the targeting at the moment, we're still using the actual factual information that we know. But AI, there's more talk about what it can do, but I think it's um, not 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 really sure yet quite how that fits within the data targeting. But yeah, certainly it's something that more and more data companies are looking at as how it can be used within it.
So if I'm a print provider
Yep.
with white glasses on,
Hmm.
um, hypothetically,
Hypothetically.
and I needed to brush my hair a little better before we all joined each other, what are like three things? Give me three things that I could do with my customer data or my internal data
Hmm.
tomorrow to start to move the needle toward better use of it.
Yeah. Okay. So I would say it's auditing the data that you've got is the first step. So actually understand, what have you got, what data do you have, what gaps are in that base, because then once you know what you've got, it's then working with your data partner and the printer as well to understand what is available to you. So that insight piece that we spoke about, the profiling, the understanding, what we can where we can be helping. What does the customer look like, but actually what can we enrich the base with, what can we add into it. um, and then it's two more rather than three, but I think it's test and learn. So like we did with Parsley Box, so actually start small with different tests, test one thing at a time, but actually um, build those tests that are then scalable so that can roll out to larger, that gives you the growth. A real key thing that a lot of people might think about after the campaign, but not at the start, is what are your KPIs? What do you want to measure against? Are you looking for response? Are you looking for inquiries, bookers? Understand what you want from the campaign at the start. Set that within the team that's going to be working on it, so that the creative can drive that as well. You want the creative to drive what you need it to do, um, so that you can measure it properly.
Okay, I have sort of a follow up question for on the printer side, and you can answer it either in the positive or the negative, and I'll explain what I mean. What are printers that are succeeding in kind of partnering with you and brands doing well, or conversely, what are printers doing poorly that they can improve on to be better at this? And you could either answer both or one or the other.
I'll do the doing well. I
Okay.
think so. I think the ones that we're working well with is kind of how I've sort of said it. So we're working with the printer. They're involving me. I'm the data expert. They're the print expert. So the end customer is getting both those two experts within the campaigns. Um, Really understanding how what data needs to be, how we need to use the data to actually personalize those campaigns. So it enables digital print rather than just using litho, because we're doing five different five different campaigns, five different creatives within that campaign. um, Integration of different channels as well is good. So, for example, you might see somebody that, an email will go to somebody, they'll click on that email, but actually, like most of us, you get the email and it gets forgotten and gone. But if they're clicking on a product within that email, then the next day the printer could be, or that day, the printer could be sending out a postcard with a picture of that product on it, and with on that postcard it could have a QR code. So then the consumer's thinking, oh, I did get that email, it's reminding them, they're clicking on the QR code, they're going through and they're buying. So it's that integration of, don't just think about it as one channel, but it's how they can all work together. um
No, we kind of spoke about it, but I didn't know if you had any insights of where you think things are going. Like, do you see 5 years from now, what does direct mail look like? What do you want it to look like?
yeah, so I think customers especially are wanting more from their direct mail. It needs to um what you're going to get is that they're expecting more. It needs to stand out in a very crowded world. So it's not just this plain DM piece. It's actually engage with the customer, know that information about about them and actually use that information to really make them feel make them feel seen, really. So something different's coming across to them. That kind of like that example with the postcard and the product. So they know that a brand will actually know who they are. So that they're much more likely to be sticky customers. They're going to be more loyal and actually less price sensitive. So and this works both actually for the end consumer, they're going to be sticking with the brand, but actually for the printer as well, if they can be um, working strategically for their customers, the printer's clients are going to stay because it becomes less about the price of what a print job might cost. It's actually the value that those printers are adding for their clients as well. So it's helping the printer have more loyal customers, and then the end customer have more loyal customers.
Yeah. When you feel connected like that, it's just a big asset.
Yeah,
When you
yeah,
really do feel genuinely connected because
yeah,
someone has communicated with you that sounds like, Dexter, comma, I know what you did last night.
yeah.
Like, it's like, I don't know how deep this gets, but yeah.
But here's some free food, Dexter.
Right, right.
You asked me why I love DM. Being part of that and actually being part of that strategy with the clients to it's not just about supplying data, it's really understanding what they're looking to do, how we can help them do it, and actually when it achieves it as well, being part of that whole piece is great fun.
For those printers that are into direct mail and direct marketing, or those who want to get more deeply into it, what resources or places or that they can go to learn more about it and kind of stay on top of the field?
Um, I would say be working with, work with all the experts in that industry. So I think so in the UK here we have Market Reach, which help with your creatives. So we can look at creatives to actually do heat maps. So with the creatives, it will say, right, we can see this should be here, that other consumer's eye is looking here, 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 and are these the right places? Does everything work together? So we can help. So there's resources there. We have a lot of resource around the stats, so the stats that a DM piece can do for you. So we look at like attention studies. So for example, an email gets I can't remember the exact numbers, but an email gets 0 point something percent of attention, whereas a DM piece, when it's in the home, it stays in the home for X amount of days, and it's there, and people are looking at it for it's like 1.5 minutes and that kind of thing. So it's that um, information for a customer helps convince customers that DM works and print works, and then there's the compliance side as well. So there's lots of resources out there, and I suppose it varies from country to country, but you know we can help with pointing people in that right direction.
That was fun. Thank you very much, Caroline, for joining us. I had a good time. Did you have a good time?
I had a great time, loved doing
Chris,
it.
did you have fun?
Loads of fun.
And if you were where Caroline was right now, Chris, where would you be having that fun?
Watford, Hertfordshire, of course.
Did you mean Watford Hertfordshire?
Oh, very good. Watford, Hertfordshire.
Yay!
Sure. Uh, Regardless of where you are, thank you and have a great day.
Thank you.